But I'd like to just emphasize one or two things. First is, if you go to the Oxford Dictionary, it says that cyber, an adjective, relating to or characteristics of the culture of computers, information technology, and virtual reality. That's cyber. And then you also look at the definition of security, and it says the state of being free from danger or threat. It's noun, sorry, I need to say that first. The safety of the state organization against criminal activities such as terrorism, theft, or espionage. And it also says procedures or processes followed, taken to ensure the security of the state of an organization. So cybersecurity is talking about protection within and from the cyber world. And I want to emphasize that because I remember talking to a friend of mine, and he says, look, one of the easiest ways to manage all these cyber risks is I just disconnect my computers. So what's the big deal? I go back to the old typewriters that we had, and I'm safe and secure. And I said, possibly so. My aunt, I'm from some village in Ogun State, does not have a smartphone. I actually have to call my nephew or my cousin to get to talk to her. And you might say she's relatively safe from cyber attacks. But the truth is, in the world we are today, it's a lie. The day they attack the NEPA station or its equivalent down the road, she doesn't have any device that connects her to that world, but we're part of that world. And so when we talk about the attack that can come, it's each and every one of us. And so when we sit down to talk together and the focus is on technology, on machines, it's a bit limiting because the dangers encompass areas and people that are not within that environment, which is cyber, but can be attacked from cyber. There's been a lot of incidents and breaches, and these days we actually glamorize cyber attacks. I remember in the NSAS events, and people were saying we're going to attack the government, we're going to attack government institutions, and there was a lot of noise, and yeah, that's the right thing to do. And then when they say they attack companies and they hold them to ransom, it's big companies, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect us. The truth is that it does. And when you look at CSCS and what has been done over the 25 years, we clap and we say it's great. I remember when we used to carry Excel sheets and the like, working with CSCS. And I know where they are now. And you can imagine if we had our Panama files. Well, that would be interesting. There are some people, it would be nice to know what they have as shares and similar things. But it won't happen. It shouldn't happen. And I'm sure it won't happen with CSCS. But it's not only about the processes. It's not only about patches that are done on time. It's not only about applications that create multiple walls, left, right, and center. It's also about the people. In the central bank, we launched eNaira, as you know, and within 6 months, we had 53 fake websites. Okay, so apart from I did something on the website, I didn't get feedback. The impact and the danger was much more than that. We're able to bring down 20 of them. We're in the process of bringing down another 15, which is 35. And we still have some that are not active that we're tracking. But every day, everywhere, it is a threat. And the biggest risk is actually information that you might lose. I use the might because anyone who's aware, it's not if I will be tried, is am I aware that I have been tried and it's been successful. There have been a lot of initiatives to work together, and the only way at the end of the day we're better able to protect ourselves is to work together. Each institution has its own responsibility, but we're a bit of a small part. So when you have brokers who are connected to you, when you have staff who use your infrastructure to surf the net at the end of the day, when you take your laptop home and your children play with it, even if it's schoolwork that they're doing on it, it opens each and every one of us to these risks. And they will not reduce, they will increase. So we need to ensure we educate, we inform. We run once a quarter these cyber quizzes in the central bank, and it's mandatory for everybody. And you must have a minimum pass of 80%. If you don't, you go back and you do it until you pass. If you refuse to do it, you don't get your salary the next month. So that people are aware. It's now different if I'm aware and I decide I want to act differently. The people are the most important, but also the most dangerous. It doesn't stop us from putting the necessary things in place to support our attempts. But everything we do, we need to remember the people. We need to educate them and then resource them appropriately. So I know the party is still going to come later this evening, and I'm overdressed now, but I can assure you later in the evening, I'd fit in very nicely. It's been 25 years. I've had shares long before CS came into being. And I know that the information they had, and they've always had, and over things, that's what we started with shares before we moved into other areas, is key. But the business that they do is beyond that. And so the ability to protect that data and information becomes even more important to each and every one of us. You heard my colleague earlier on. She works on in the part of the central bank that is very technical, and I'm sure she told you the various things we do. I work in the part that is largely operational, so we don't get to go out a lot. So thank you very much for at least taking me out of the office, that I can see all of you. And we'll be back, I'm sure, in another 10, 15 years. The topic might have changed, but what the institution has done would not have changed. 10 years ago, they were talking about climate change. Cybersecurity was not part of the agenda. Now it is high up there in the agenda. I don't know what it will be in 10 years' time, but by God's grace, we'll all be here and we'll be talking about it. Happy 25 years. Cheers.